This is a really quick live that I hadn't anticipated doing, and what I didn't realise was Facebook have changed how I go live again. So I'm just trying to marry up my phone with my laptop, and it's, oh, I think it's here. Let's just see. I know I didn't give anybody any notice either that I was going live, so apologies for that. Let me just turn my phone a little bit. See if that makes it a little bit straighter. Okay, so I'm sat in my craft room and I'm trying to make one of these cards, which is an Angled Gatefold card. And this card was sent to me by Leanne Livingstone in Saskatchewan, and she is one of my Silver Sisters. You often hear me talk about the Silver Sister group that I'm in, and we send, well, we support each other all the time, but we also send samples of cards out to each other. And this is one from last year, but I kept it because I really liked the design, and last year I didn't do the design. I didn't have the time to try it. So I got it out today and I thought I would have a go with it. Now, the card itself, you might have seen it on Pinterest, you might have seen it on other demonstrators pages, and this angled gatefold thing, sometimes it's flat here at the bottom and fits flush. Sometimes it will have an angled piece there as well. But I thought when I saw others, if I had the angled piece there, I have to be really careful if I want to stamp or write towards the bottom of the card, because it might show through. So I wanted to make Leanne's, and I've sort of got the measurements. I've had my little ruler out and I've sorted out a few measurements, and I'm going to see if I can make it. Okay, so that's there for inspiration. This is the one I had a try with. This is Balmy Blue and some old designer series paper, and I did get it to fit, so I think I've got the measurements right. Sometimes this designer series piece, it's not quite right, and I think it really depends on your pencil marks and exactly how you cut it, but I'll do my very best. And Leanne had hers just opening and closing, and I thought it might be quite nice to put a belly band around it and then maybe design on here as well. So that's what I'm going to try. Hi Libby, how are you doing? I didn't know I was going live today, but really nice to see you. I'm making this Angled Gatefold card design, which was from Leanne Livingstone, one of my Stampin Up friends. I'm not making this one, of course, because this is last year's things, but I'm going to have a go. I've had a rough go and done some sizings, and I will put sizings on my blog, so don't worry about trying to find sizings now. Okay, so I'm going to use, because it's still on my desk, I'm going to use this Christmas paper and stamp set, because this is for my Christmas in July class that I'm having in a couple of weeks' time. And I haven't finished it yet. Everybody's has been mailed, or most have been collected, but I just need to cut a few more things for my own set. So I've still got this on my desk, and you might recognise both the paper and the stamps because they were from last year, but they've carried over. And in the annual catalogue, you can see the stamps have carried over, and they're on page 44, and they're all photopolymer stamps. You can see I've used it quite a lot. I do love this. And then the paper carried over as well. It's not in the annual catalogue, it's in the mini catalogue. And if you turn to page 29, it's this one, this Painted Christmas. Now, the stamps and the paper, let me just see, they come to just about $40. So if you wanted something from the Celebration catalogue, you could get the paper, the stamps, some cards, some glue, and then any of the $60 items. You've seen me use this paper quite a lot. This has now sold out. We're using the green ones in our Christmas class. I've ordered some of this, I haven't got it yet. I do have these, I love these dies. Libby, these would be perfect for us, wouldn't they? We should make our Christmas cards with a camping theme. This is $120. You have to spend $120 to get the paper and the stamps for free. But there's lots of options. So if you wanted to have a free gift, that's the way to go. Okay, so here's my paper, my stamps and my card. I only have one piece of my evening evergreen and it's a little bit battered and worse for wear and a scrap, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to get a bone folder out and see if I can just go over some of these. No, I don't think that will come out, but I don't think you'll see it either. When I put the designer series paper on it, I don't think you'll see that, so I'm not too worried. Okay, so my base piece, let me get the paper. My base piece has to be 11 by 5.5, so it's a little bit bigger than a half sheet. So we know it's 11 down here. I'm going to trim this off at 5.5. And I've put a new blade in my cutter. It was a little bit raggy, so I've put a new blade in and I'm hoping that it'll stop being so raggy. Okay, and I'm just going to go over that little corner as well. Just make that nice and straight. Okay. Now, some of this at the bottom will be cutting off anyway when we angle the card, so I'm not worried too much. So you can do the measurements. You can put it in your trimmer to do the measurements, or you can just put it on a piece of paper. I'm just going to put mine here on the piece of paper, but I'm going to do some scoring first. So I've got the long side here, and I'm going to score at 3 3/8, and that is the last long line before 3.5. So I'm going to put it there and just score. Now, you need to have the same measurement at the other side, and you could measure across and do 7 7/8 or whatever it is, but what I'm going to do is just turn it round. It's just quicker. So back to 3 3/8, just with the score blade. Okay. Now I need to make some little pencil marks, and as I said, you could do them in the trimmer if you wanted, but I'm going to do mine with a ruler. Oh, I'm sorry, I'd stopped watching comments. Sorry, ladies. Okay, now at the top, we're going to cut this angle. Okay, so at the top, the left and the right. So what you need to do is measure down the left-hand side and the right-hand side at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to pop that up here. And then just use, I don't want that much pencil out, let's break that off. Just measure along, and I'm going to make a little mark at 1.5. Because I've chosen dark card, it's a little bit tricky to see, but I know it's there. Whether I'll know it's there when it's in the trimmer, I don't know. So just check that I did 1.5, yeah. And I'm going to do exactly the same at the other side. So I'm going to pop that in there and just put a little mark at 1.5. Now if you end up with a big mark, you can just erase it, it's not a problem. Okay. Then at the bottom, I'm going to go across 1 inch. So at the bottom left and the bottom right. Oops. Just trying to get that exact on there. So 1 inch, and then the same here. And I think this is when the designer series paper, when you cut that as well, it might not be exact just because of where you've put these little pencil marks and when you cut it as well. Okay, so we're going to put it in the trimmer, and I'm going to cut from this score line down to that mark that was at 1.5, and from this score line down to that mark that was at 1.5, and I'm going to do that first. Now let me see where the mark is. I'm going to put the mark into my trimmer onto the line here so that I can see where it is, and it's, let me move that tape, it's just shining in the sun here. So I've got my score line here right in the trimmer track, and the same with this little mark. And I'm going to close it down, and I'm going to move my blade across, because sometimes if you start right on an edge and it's on a diagonal, you can sort of bend the card a little bit. Okay, I don't need that, so it's going out the way. And then the same at this side, from the score line down to the 1.5 inch mark. And let me find that 1.5 inch mark. So here it is, I put it in the track, and I'm just going to move the score mark round. And it sounds a little bit daunting, but actually when you've done it once, it's a bit easier, she says, hopefully. Now, at the bottom where this 1 inch mark is, we're going to go from this corner all the way down. So we're not going to the score line, we're just going to go down to this mark here. So, oops, let me pop that mark in the track, and then that little corner as well. I'm going to move my blade down. Okay. And then this side too, so from that corner down to the little 1 inch mark. Just like that. Right. And I think that's it. And let me lay it over Leanne's. Oh, mine's a tiny touch different to hers, but I believe I've marked it up right. She seems to have taken just a tiny extra bit off, and that's fine. As I said earlier, it depends just where you match it up. And while I've got this piece out, I'm going to cut a 1 inch strip just from my belly band. In fact, I'm going to make it 1 1/4, as I'm not quite sure how wide I want it. And next I'm going to move that piece out of the way, and I'm going to do my design series paper. I am using this pattern, and it's the same on the back and the front, but I just need to check if this piece is actually wide enough. I need it to be 3 1/4. Oh yeah, it is, look, it's just over 3 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to just trim this down 3 1/4. Now, if you have a paper that's directional, just be careful which way you cut it, and make sure the narrow piece is at the top on your card, coming down. So just make sure that it's orientated the right way. Okay, and then I need to cut these at 5 3/8, I think. So 1, 2, 3/8. One, 2, 3/8. Okay, I don't need that little piece, I'm leaving it on the side. And I'm just going to put my trimmer down for a second, and I'm just going to check on my paper that that's what I cut it at. 5 3/8 it is. Right. And then you're going to make exactly the same marks on these. Let me find my little pen again. So you're going to put a mark, decide which piece you're having at the top, which piece you're having at the bottom. I'm going to have this on this side and this on this side. And you need to make a mark at the left hand side going down at 1.5 inches. Just turn it around and do it this way so that you can see it just a little bit better. It's a little bit easier on this because it's on white, but of course it ends up on a pine cone. There we go. So down the left hand side at 1.5 and across the bottom at 1 inch. Just turn it round so that you can see it. Like that. And this piece, we're going to do exactly the same, but we're going to go down 1.5 at the right hand side and across 1 at the bottom. So 1.5. Oh, look, it's just going to go in a little white piece there. Okay, so that's it, down at the right hand side 1.5 and across the bottom at 1 inch. Okay, and I'm going to get my trimmer and trim those off. So let me find where my marks are, because I've lost them already. So here's the one on the pine cone down to the 1 inch. I'm going to put that so it's in the track, and then move it so that my 1 inch mark is in the track. I'm going to move my blade down to the middle. You may have to just change this around a little bit. Oh, I think I cut that the wrong way. I did cut that the wrong way. I cut it upside down. Let me just, I'm not sure what I could do with that. Let me cut it again. So I need this 5 3/8. Did I cut it the wrong way? Let me just see. It would go that way instead now. Sorry ladies, just while I work that out. Okay, let me just cut this again. So 5 3/8 and 3 1/4. Okay. I don't know how I did that the wrong way, because, oh, just a minute. Let me just cut across here and see if I did do it the wrong way. So now I need to go from this one up to the other line. And I can't see where the other line is. Let me just cut it again. Okay, so I'm going to make my mark. This is 5 3/8. Yeah, and I'm going to go down 1.5 inches. I told you it was tricky. It certainly is tricky. So 1.5 there up to that corner. Let me cut that piece first. Let me just see. I'm just going to go back to my other one, because let me just look. I don't think I've got this the right way around. So it's going to go that way, and it will be on that side. Okay, that's all right. I'll put that in, and that piece. It will just be on the other side. Okay, that piece. And then I'm going to, so it's going to fit like this, I think. Yeah. And then at this side, at the bottom, we're going to cut, we're going to make a mark at 1 inch. Oh, it's right on that pine cone. And we're going to cut it that way. Okay. So this will fit on this side here. Yes. Can you see what I meant about you get it so it's not quite even? I'm going to trim just a tad off. Just a teeny weeny bit. There we go. Let's see if that will fit instead. Okay, now let's cut my other piece. So this one, I have this one cut this way. This one I'm going to measure the other way. Well, I'm getting very confused with the cutting too, Libby, but it's going to look really nice. And once I've done it a couple of times, I think I'm going to be okay. So I'm going to cut this at 1.5 and put a little mark here at 1.5, and then I'm going to cut putting the trimmer to there. Okay. Maybe it's easier to do it like this, just like one cut at a time. And then I know I'm going to do my 1 inch at the bottom here. And there is a little mark there already. So I'm going to go from this corner down to my little mark. Like that. Okay, now here are the 2 pieces that I have. Let me get rid of all these other little scraps out of the way. And where's my card? So I'm going to fold it over, and let me just see if these both fit. Yeah, there's one. And there's the second one. I might have it closing that way because this is my favourite piece. Right. Whew, goodness me. Let's pop that on quick before it changes. That's going to be on this right hand side, so I could probably just turn the piece of the card, the piece of the design series paper over and have them going the other way, but because I know they fit exactly this way, I'm going with this. Don't let it put you off having a go at it. Everything can be sorted out. Just let me angle that slightly. There we go. And let's find a bone folder. There we go. So that's one side. And then this is going to go on this side. Right. Aren't you glad I didn't put it in a class yet, Libby? And you had to put it yourself. Okay, let's move that around a bit. Go down with my bone folder on there as well. Yay, look at that, it works. I need to move that up a little bit, but never mind. Okay, right, let's do a piece for the inside. Thanks, Libby. This is just 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on the inside, but I'm actually going to stamp it because I want a design on the inside. So let me find all my stamps that I need. Let's do the little pine cone. So I need 2 blocks for my little pine cone. And I'm going to need a sentiment. So let's find another block. And let's do this little leaf. We'll do the design that we're sort of doing for the Christmas in July class. And that way we know it all works out right. And we're going to do a circle at the same time. So let's put that leaf on there. And I'm going to put my 2 little pine cones on here. And then I don't need that one actually. I'll do my sentiment on a smaller block. So let's see. Let's find a little small block. No, I don't think it'll fit on there. Okay, I'll look at that in a moment. So I've got my inks ready. I'm going to do my pine cone first, and I've got crumb cake and soft suede. You need 2 browns that one's a bit darker than the other. If you don't have them in different colours, you can always stamp off once to make it a bit lighter. Oops. And then I'm not having the best day here, am I? And then you can go over full strength with the other bit. Didn't want to stick. Okay, let's put it back on. On you go. So this is crumb cake. This is the lighter brown. I'm going to do just this in the corner, and I'm going to do the same on here because this is going to be for my little sentiment for the front. Okay. So we don't need that one. Now I've got the soft suede. And I'm just going to go over it. This will dry a little bit lighter. But it takes a little while. At the moment it looks quite dark, but it does dry a little bit more caramelly, that crumb cake. Okay, so I don't need the browns anymore. Let's just clean these stamps. And then I can use one for my sentiment. What are you crafting on at the moment, Libby? I saw your beautiful card for Aurora. It was so pretty. I bet she loved it. Okay. Now let's find the soft succulent, because that's the colour green I've been using on my Christmas cards. Seems strange to be saying Christmas cards, doesn't it? It's too early for Christmas. It's too sunny. Okay. I'm going to do just the one little design. I'm going to do a couple of these leaves like this, and I'm going to do one from the top. Oh, I don't know, I might see that. I'm not going to do one at the top. I'm going to leave that there like that. And then I want this to be on a little angle. And I'm just going to use the stamped off version just to go over here a little bit, just to go a little bit in the background there. There we are. And then I just need a sentiment. For my card class, the Christmas in July one, I've been using one of last year's sets, this Tidings and Trimmings. The Christmas season one doesn't come with any sentiments. It's purely images, which is great. But I'm sure lots of us have, you know, loads and loads of sentiments. And sometimes you don't need more sentiments. So I'm just going to use the one out of here that says Season's Greetings. When we have the class on the 23rd for the Christmas in July, you can just use your own sentiments, any that you've got. And if you don't have any, message me and I'll make sure we find something for you to use. You've got lots of things cut, Libby, but not finished. You want to come and look in my craft room. I've got lots of things cut. Yeah, lots cut but not finished. Okay, so I'm just going to put Season's Greetings on here in real red. I'm not worried if it goes over the pine cone a little bit, but I'd like my pine cone on a bit of an angle. There. Okay, I like that. And you could also do a sentiment on the inside. Just don't make it too high up so that, you know, you don't want to be able to see it above the card. So let's pop that one away. Put that one here. Let's have a look what we could. I might just pop this one in the middle. May your days be merry and bright. Let's pop that in the middle. While I've still got things out. Christmas decorations are in Costco. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, I'm not ready for Christmas. I'm not ready for the cold. Mind you, Costco are always early, aren't they? I'm going to pop this right in the middle. And I'm sorry if you can see my head. There we go. I don't think it'll be long till things are in the shops, apart from Costco. I don't think it'll be too long. Why won't you fit on there? Come on. Let's put this down. I don't want to lose it and it fall out. There we go. There we are. Okay, so that's all we need the blocks for. We don't need any more. I would love a session together, Libby. So I really would. It would be a lot of talking, but that's okay. Right. So this back again. Okay, and I'm going to pop this inside. We just had our stamp with colour last class. It's the one that I run monthly, Libby. But we do it for 6 months at a time. That one's just finished. But we're starting a new one in September for the 6 months, and it's going to be fun folds. We chose the theme, and there's only 4 of us, so you're very welcome to join on that. That's always on Zoom, but you're very welcome to join us with that one. And then we can chit chat too. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, now let's find that strip that we had of the paper, and I'm going to just go around it with my bone folder. I don't want to score it at the moment, and I find if you just go around with your bone folder like that, it's already pressed, and the card doesn't crack as easily. So I'm just going to pop that, eyeball it kind of to the middle. But we're going to put something over here anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's not in the middle, and I'm not pushing it too tight. If you push it too tight, you won't be able to take that off. If it's too loose, it'll just fall down. But I find this way that you can sort of measure it, you know, just eyeball it and make sure that it's going to fit on. Okay, so that's how that will go. And what I'm going to do is add that other little piece that I stamped. And this is the 2 1/4 inch circle, and this is a 2 1/2 inch circle. So I'm going to pop the circle over like this, and then just pop this bit on here. What you could do, you could run a piece of ribbon round here, or a narrow piece of design series paper if you wanted something else on there as well. I'm just going to leave mine as the green, but it doesn't have to be a circle. These are some of the pieces that I was working on for the actual class. So you can do, this is maybe a bit long, but you know, you could do rectangles, you can do anything. I'm just going to move that over a tiny bit. There we go. Just needed a tiny bit more. There, that's better. And I'm going to go over that piece now with my bone folder, just because I've had it creased in 2 places. Thanks, Libby. I'll let you know when, and we'll definitely get together. Okay, so I'm just going to attach this one to here. And now that my visitors have all gone, I've got the days to myself. So I can do lots of different sessions for us to craft together. Oh, I'm going to fold it that way, just because that's the shorter piece. Then we'll put that on here. Okay, I'm just going to attach this down here, just so that it sticks on. You could also, if you didn't want to use a belly band, you could always put a magnet on as well, and that would hold the 2 sides together. I'm going to put this on a couple of dimensionals. Oops. And let's see where it's going to go. I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals across the middle here. And that way it'll just stand out a little bit. In fact, I only need 2. We'll just stand off a little bit more depth. Just make sure my writing's straight. Okay, and I know I don't have any of the red rhinestones, but I did bring my real red pen, and I'm just going to colour a couple of these basic rhinestones in. Maybe should have done it earlier so that they had time to dry. But if you don't have the right colour, you can always just colour in. And you could use a Sharpie marker if you don't have the Stampin' Up markers, or blends, because they dry and let you be able to move them. But just give that little dry in time. I don't think they're quite dry. I'm just going to pop these up here. Yeah, they're not quite dry. Look, they're coming off on my finger. Let me get my blend pen instead. That dries faster. what have I picked up? Cherry cobbler, I think. Just go over these again. You won't really tell that it's a different colour. And then put them on with this take your pick. I have to colour that one again. Ooh, that one jumped away. Let's take this one off. Pop it back on here and colour it again. It's just that those markers take a little bit longer to dry. Put this right on here. There we go. So there we are. So it didn't beat me. It nearly did, but let me find Leanne's. Okay, such a pretty card. And once you've got those measurements worked out, it's not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna go tidy up, and if you have a go at it, let me know. If you have any other tips for me on how to cut the paper or an easy way to do things, let me know that too. All right, take care. Nice to see you, Libby. Have a great afternoon. Bye.